Let's start recording. Hope you guys are all well and that your first week of live collabs have gone smoothly. Can you believe that the week is done? Couldn't believe it when I realized it was Thursday this morning. Not that I'm complaining. So I will obviously be taking you for Journey 2 this semester. I'm really looking forward to this semester. There's been a lot of changes to this module, a lot of changes for good. Bringing everything up to, the 2023-2024. So there's a lot of new content. It's also how the module's been structured now is in such a way that it gives you a little bit more wiggle room in terms of being able to write to your strengths, writing to subjects that interest you, which is obviously always good. But at the same time, you still are going to have to do a little bit of writing beyond your comfort zone, just to make sure that, we're not making you pigeonhole yourself right from the get-go. Okay, so let me explain everything in general, and then I will just set you guys up for what is needed in terms of assessments for the semester, and then you guys can ask any questions you want. I think all of you have had me before, I think, for a module or 2 or 3. So if you've got questions, please ask, interrupt, ask as many questions as you want. The idea is that these sessions have got to help you, and what we are going to be focusing on is not going through every single reading and every single little bit of fact and detail, but these sessions are more to help you with the practical side of what you're needing to do this semester, because you're going to be creating websites, you're going to be making multimedia, you're going to be taking photos, taking videos, writing. This year is all about being able to create a digital portfolio that isn't only ready for academics, as in me marking your portfolio, but also that if anyone wants to go into any form of media next year, or after honours or whatever, the whole point of the semester is that you're going to have a usable portfolio that you can actually give to potential employees or anyone you want to do an internship with, or even honours programs and all that kind of thing. So we're trying to set you up for you finishing at the end of this year and the possibility of you going out to get jobs or apply for honours or all that kind of thing. So it's all digital based and it's all very practical. Okay. So some of the stuff in your assignment is a little bit on the academic side, but then it's like 2 of the questions and then it gets straight into the writing and straight into website creation right from the assignment, but I'll get to that in a second. All right, I just want you guys to see that, yeah, exactly, Stefan, it's all about practical knowledge. You will see there are a lot of readings for each learning unit. There's an insane amount of readings for this module. Guys, it's not about completing every single reading, and I know that sounds weird coming from me. There are 44 prescribed materials. Okay. With each of these, there's bits and pieces of each of them that have got value, that are going to add to your understanding. But if you are not interested at all in doing a particular genre of writing, you can choose to maybe read 1 or 2 of them rather than the 4 or 6 that are listed there. Besides the first couple of questions that have got a little bit of theory, everything else is going to be practical. It's all going to be about you writing in these particular styles that I'm going to teach you this semester. So if there is a style of writing or a genre that you really don't like, then you can I wouldn't say skip it out, because that would be limiting for when you're leaving, but you can pick and choose readings. If you feel that you've got a very good understanding after reading 3 out of the 4 prescribed materials, that's fine, because the idea is we've just tried to give you as much information as possible to make sure that you feel prepared when writing in these particular styles and focusing on specific genres. But there are 44 readings. Everything is a time crunch in academics, so start going through them. If you are battling with time, maybe choose 1 or 2 rather than 4, and then when you get a bit more time, you can go back and read others. But each of the prescribed materials that are presented, each one just builds to try and give you further depth into each of the genres and into each of the writing styles and the different beats and what have you. So don't get overwhelmed when you see 44 prescribed materials, because for some, reading through that many is just not going to be physically possible. But that doesn't mean you're not going to do well within this module. Okay. Everyone on the same page when it comes to that? Okay. You don't want anyone panicking. That's all that worries me. Okay. Right, so in terms of your assessments, you obviously have ICE. I've tried to choose the ICE tasks which I think work and are going to help you guys. Again, these are new ICE tasks, all completely new. If I've set one that is really going to be way too long and it's going to take you hours upon hours to do, please just one of you tell me, speak up, and I can allocate a different ICE task. I don't want your ICE tasks to take away from the time that you could be writing, but what I think should take you about an hour might actually end up taking you guys 3 hours. And your third years now, and I'd rather you, I know some of you have had me for third year already and all that, but the whole thing is that you know me well enough now to have those open lines of communication. If you think something is really overwhelming you and is not going to work, tell me. Okay. So in terms of so it's our 10% for us, 30% for your first assignment, pleasure, 30% waiting for your first assignment, and then 60% for your portfolio. Okay. The idea here is that every aspect that you're going to be doing within your formative and your summative is all going to be loaded onto a website that you guys are going to create. So what that means is your entire semester's work, everything is going to be marked on a website. I don't mark your safe assign. The safe assign has to be put through, all the work you produce still has to go through safe assign. No, Stefan, we still don't have a date for the POE. We have been asking, and they said they will let us know in due course. I asked the head of program for JRN, and she said she can't give me a date yet either. So I thought I could maybe find a way to get a date earlier, but she said no, National hasn't established a date yet. Well, or not that they haven't established one, they haven't released one yet, so she doesn't even know when it's due. So as I was saying, all your work that you get, all you do is going to be submitted, besides your ICE tasks, which go through VC Learn, everything else is getting submitted on this website. So while you have to put it through everything on Safe Assign for the sake of academics, you know how normally on your assignments and that you'll see ticks and crosses and all that kind of thing. You won't have that for this module. What you will get is the rubric filled in with your marks and then comments on what you need to fix with your website for your final POE, because you're getting the opportunity to get the opportunity to fix it and work on it, where normally in the past it was just a website for the POE. So some students had to rush at the end and then didn't get the best marks for the actual website. Yeah, I know, Stefan, most of you all need those due dates to be able to plan things effectively, but they said they are going to get them out as soon as possible. Yeah, no POE dates, no exam dates, nothing. All of us only have the assignment due dates. But trust me, the moment I've got those, you guys know I will put it straight up on into that OneDrive folder that I've made for you guys, like always, and I will send you a WhatsApp saying, guys, it's there, and I'll put the date out on WhatsApp as well. So all official stuff obviously will still go through BC Learn like always, but if it's just us chatting about things and everything, it will go through WhatsApp. Okay. I had it all set to admin only in the start just because I needed to set the groundwork with my JRN1 groups and media groups and all that. But so I just set everything to admin only, but you would have seen yesterday I took that all off because I'd seen them and I didn't need to worry. I don't need to worry about seeing you guys because you already know all the rules. Yeah, it was just I thought if I said everything the same and release everything at the same time, it meant that I just had consistency. But yeah, with you guys, I was never gonna maintain admin only. We wouldn't survive that way. That doesn't work for us. All right. So what I'm gonna do here, but it's also you guys know me and you're very respectful of time and everything. So that's why I don't worry at all with you lot. And they're hopefully gonna be respectful too. All right. So what you will notice is that you don't have that many learning units. Okay, so you only have 4 learning units. You need to pace yourself. This is not a rushing module. This is a divide the semester up into 4, or let's say into 5 to give you some time to work on your POE stuff. Divide the semester up and give yourself 2 weeks a learning unit, in some instances 3. And actually, the reason why I reduced the learning units right down was to give you time to actually grapple with each of the concepts, rather than rushing from learning unit to learning unit to learning unit, and actually not getting time to actually digest what you're learning. So with this one, you are getting weeks at a time to deal with each of the concepts, which is more realistic, and it also at 3rd year level gives you a better understanding of the material. So it just gives you that opportunity to work through things slowly, which I think you guys will enjoy. The other thing is, let me just share my screen. I'm just going to share the learning units. At least you guys also don't have to buy a textbook, which is always a bonus with all those readings. So you'll see that each of these build. Okay, so the digital media environment is our academic learning unit, basically just establishing what it means to work within a digital environment, because obviously last semester, your JRN last year was all about like writing for print and everything. So this year it's about switching to a full digital environment. So you guys are going to be creating, like I said, a website, videos, you're going to be taking your own photos, you're going to be doing your own social media. So for those who've done NCTE, you've already started some of this before. And it's that we're going to try and get you to be able to work in a full, like, that you could go to a publication and they could slot you in anywhere and you would work perfectly. Yeah, Pule, no book. 44 prescribed readings, which, like I was saying earlier, you don't need to go through every single one of them, but no book. The reason why there is no book is there's no book written yet that actually can deal with all this digital media stuff and stay up to date. Because if you look at your PMs, your prescribed materials, you'll notice everything is 2021, 2022 up to 2023. We've tried, I think the oldest one is possibly 2020. I wanted things as new as possible so that it is as current and as up to date. You'll notice a lot of the readings are a lot more relaxed in their writing. They might seem to be not so academic, but they actually are. Oh, there we go. I've got a 2019 is the oldest one that I can see. But the majority of the readings are all from the 2020s up. And the reason why we went for this more relaxed approach with some of these readings, even though a lot of them are journals and what have you, but it's real articles and real journals and that written by journalists working within the field of digital media. So, you know, the way people are writing nowadays is different. the way people are engaging with one another is different, and media is reflecting that, and the journalists are reflecting that. So, you know, another lecturer commented about the fact that there was like swearing in one of the articles and all that, and we're like, and so they're grown-ups, they can handle that. If you look at what you read in English and all the hard-hitting stuff you deal with in English, you can deal with a couple of swear words here and there, and more diverse approaches to all the content. So it's not like going, this is the only way you can write and nothing else matters. It's saying, hey, let's think about all the different ways you could approach this. I'm glad to hear that, Karen. It's always good to get a bit of feedback from you guys, because again, this is a whole new module. This is a completely new take to JRN that we're dealing with, and we're trying to make it more current. And so, like I say, when you go out into the real world, they're not like, well, you know, your knowledge is 10 years behind, you know, fix yourself. It's okay, cool, you know what's going on within media now. So that first learning unit is all about the digital environment. And then from learning unit 2 onwards, it's all about being hands-on. It's about writing for different beats, such as arts, entertainment, culture, business, tech, you know, all those kinds of things. It's all about those different beats. Then we go into the specialist fields of activism, humanitarian journalism, community journalism, so all those bigger hard-hitting topics. And then we go into the journalism in your hands, which is about you guys capturing media with the use of your phones. So the idea is that you will be able to, you're going to be taking your photos, doing your videos, doing your editing for your videos, everything, all of it can be done on your phones. You don't need to have specialized equipment to do all this. With the 2 reading went through so far, it's actually interesting. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Stefan, because yeah, if they're not a chore to read, then it means you guys actually don't mind having all these readings to deal with, which was the aim. Okay, so everything is going to be super practical. Even your theoretical stuff you guys are going to be doing. You're going to be making an infographic. You're going to be writing about what this digital media is all about from a practical perspective, like as if you're writing it to the audience. So everything is hands-on. Well, yeah, Stefan, if you'd done more than 2 within the first week, I'd be very shocked because I know how much you've got for research and JRN and English and comms and everything. So, you know, don't overwhelm yourself too much. Take it slow. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You've got the time with this. That's awesome. All right, so I will obviously go in our lectures, in our NSS, I will go through everything in detail, but I just want you guys to start being aware of how this content is being presented, because it's very different from your other modules. So you have to, first of all, create a website. I'm going to go through all the nitty-gritty with this in our next lecture. Today is just a touching base lecture, just to get you guys on track, to know that along with the academic stuff, with the readings and the theory and all that, this website creation is actually the most important thing for you guys right now, is going onto a site such as wix.com and actually creating the website. So who did Media 3 with me last year? Did anyone? Karen, didn't you do Media 3? I'm drawing a blank of who did, because you guys, if there is anyone that did Media 3 with me, Media 2, sorry, Media 2. Yeah, sorry, Media 7322. It used to be the Media 3, yeah. So you've got experience with making a website. The rest of you, I will show you step by step how to do this. Oh, awesome. Well, I think you're really going to love this one too, because it's quite similar with the website and, you know, looking at things with the story behind the story type thing. So you guys are going to create this website and everything is going to be uploaded onto it. In our next collab, I'm going to show you step by step how to make this website. Okay. So if you go and you log into Wix and this is so overwhelming and what to do just blows your mind, leave it for now. But what I want you to be aware of is more the actual what you guys are going to be doing for this assignment. And your assignment is due on the 8th of April. It's not that far away. So I know it seems crazy that this is our first collab and I'm already discussing the assignment and everything, but it's that I want you to have the time to start switching your brain from academic writing to journalistic writing. Okay, so how it works is that question one you have to do, that's creating a website. Okay, so that is a non-negotiable. So what they've done is they've given you options within this. So you've question 2 and 3 are optional, question 1 and 4 are a requirement. So creating the website is a requirement because the website you create for your assignment, you then continue to submit your work onto it and you continue to work on it for your POE, and in your POE you get marks for fixing up your website. Okay, then what you have to then create, then you get to choose about writing this, like what digital media is all about. Okay, that one is you still have to have some in-text referencing to it. So you can see this question, this understanding the digital media, and the next one where you can choose to create an infographic about talking about hold on, have they changed it? Oh, they have changed it. Okay, it's not an infographic anymore. It's just a discussion, just explaining ethics within, for your publication, how you think, you know, you're going to be working in an, how your publication works in an ethical framework. But both of those are being written as if you're writing it to an audience. So you can see that you're having to shift your approach. While these two that you choose between do have in-text referencing, just to make sure that you guys at a third year level can reference correctly. The fourth piece that you do is a written piece that has no referencing in it. So this is your first introduction to actually writing from a full journalistic perspective. But what you guys need to start thinking about from now is shifting your mindset to writing for an audience. So not just writing as if it's going to me as your lecturer, but more writing as it would go to an audience to help them understand, engage, and be able to actually know what they are doing, what you're doing, sorry, within this publication that you are creating. You guys get to choose your publication's name. You get to choose what type of stories you're going to be focusing on. You get to choose if it's going to be like my on-campus students, one student's doing a political website and the other one's doing a gaming website. Both completely work within the framework of this module, but completely different approaches. One is really into gaming and like the stories and all, like the deeper meaning behind like strategy gaming and all that kind of thing, where the other one is very big into political journalism. So that's what they're focusing on. So you guys have got to start thinking about what actually interests you, that you could actually go and write 2, 3, 4 different pieces on topics that really interest you. Come from someone who does art commissions and aims for perfection, it's always annoying to have to purposely create work that is flawed for marks. I know. But all we can do is strive for the best. For the best. Listen, it's not, you don't, if you get it right from the start, you will get high marks then. And if the corrections that you make might be me saying the font here needs to be bigger, or this needs to be, I would like a picture on this page. I would rather you guys aim for perfection to start with the website, and then the fixing it will be more me nitpicking, because I'm good at nitpicking to make sure that you guys get the highest marks you possibly can. So it's that kind of thing. I don't want there to be deliberate flaws. It's not like NCTE where it was like deliberately make all these mistakes and then fix them, and you're going, I can't. Yeah, no, that's fine, Stefan. I can understand because of NCTE, I can understand where your brain is going with it. Yeah, so I totally get why you would think that. So the aim is to go yeah, as best as website as you can make within the 5 or so weeks that you guys have. But then know that if you don't get it spot on this time around, you've got the rest of the semester to work on it and then still get marks for that for the final POE. Okay. But more than anything, I just want you guys to start looking at what's going on in the world around you. I want you to start thinking about what really interests you. When it comes time to actually writing your first piece for your assignment, it's got to be an article that would fit under business, technology, or culture. Okay. And those genres are very, or they now the HOP wants them to be called beats again. I'm like, yeah, okay, but the textbook still says genres. So beats is the correct journalistic terminology as well. So these beats are very broad. So technology, you could do something to do with environmental technology. You could do gaming. You can do computer-based stuff. You can do economics. You can do so much. Business, you can bring in politics and hard news and current affairs. Culture, you can bring in anything to do with arts, um, like culture in terms of African cultures, in terms of different subcultures within the South African population, anything. Okay. So, Erin, for this one, you take actually. I've just seen she's changed it. It doesn't actually. So how it works is you are writing for a South African audience with the understanding that there is an international audience that can receive this. So you're writing it for the average South African that has internet access, but you can write about international affairs, you can write about local stuff. It doesn't have to be only South African. And in the POE, I deliberately made it that it is not only South African stuff, because for some of you, that might not interest you. For some of you, it might be great, and you might love to write about South African culture or what's happening in terms of tech. But if you want to do something more global, go for it. But more than anything, I want you guys to start thinking about what interests you and what you feel. Taryn, film would fall under culture. I want you guys to think about what's interesting to you. Or, Taryn, also thinking that technology, if the film you're thinking about is something to do with like CGI and all that, that would go under tech. So how films are developing and changing, and the use of CGI and digital animation and AI and all that, that would all fall under tech. So you can see there is a way to basically make any of these different genres kind of work for you. And if there's something that you guys are interested in, you don't know if it falls into a particular beat that is mentioned within either the assignment or the POE, just message me and say, how can we make this work? And I will find a way to make it work. I know, don't panic about the fact that you guys are going off for, your scripts go off for moderation because you're third year. I never ever do anything that means that someone would mark you down because I've given you freedom that shouldn't necessarily be there. I will make it work within the applicable realm of what is acceptable, if that makes sense. I'm never going to throw you guys under the bus. I've always got your backs. So hopefully that's something you know by now. So I will make sure that it's working for you, not against you. Okay. So the mission for this next 2 weeks, okay, of what I need from you guys. I need you to go through Learning Unit 1, okay, because obviously I don't see you next week, but I will see you I see you the following week. Go through Learning Unit 1, familiarize yourself with Learning Unit 1 and its readings, and I want you to start thinking about what you think you could actually write stories on. And how I got my on-campus students to do this, my contact students, I said to them, right, I want you to write out 3 beats that interest you. And they did that. Then I said, okay, off the top of your head, I want you to write down 3 beats and then 5 stories per beat that they think falls within those beats that interest them. So even if you want to do it here doing the business tech and culture, and then write story ideas that you think would work for you. So I got them because we hadn't got the assignment yet, and when I set this, the parameters were a little bit wider and they've narrowed them. So what you will then do is say, okay, I hate business, I'm not going to write about that, but technology and culture, cool, I like those. Let me write down as many possible story ideas as I could come up with for those, and then go, all right, of those, this is the one these are the 3 that I like. Then message me and say, these are what I'm thinking, what do you think? Remember, you are a small class, I'm able to give you that more one-on-one time. And if you send me a message and say, Annie, I'm thinking of this, this, and this, which one stands out the best to you? And I'll say, I like option 2, or I like option 3, or what have you. Or I'll say to you, they're too general, narrow them down. You're going to have too much stuff, whatever it may be. All right. The whole time I will give you guys that kind of feedback. That's the joys of being third year and doing modules like this. You are able to get that. I will spend that time with you guys. Yeah, that's the thing, Karen, is that, like, I know for you also, you've got lots of ideas, but then it's which one to go with. And I'd rather give you guys that time to narrow it down, because a lot of you might start a bit broad and I go, okay, cool, that's a good start, but now break that idea down further and let's find something to focus on within that idea. That way, the whole time I'm going to be able to give you that feedback. When it comes time before the assignment's due, I will read drafts of your written pieces. Okay, if you send them to me, I will read them for you. Again, I'm dealing with a class of, I think there's no more than 10 of you in this group, not 40 or 60 of you. So I'm able to look over your work for you and look over drafts. I'll be able to give you that one-on-one time. So for this next 2 weeks, start thinking about what stories that fall within those beats that interest you. Start working through Learning Unit 1 so that I can start dealing with Learning Unit 1 with you guys in the next collab. And it's all just about getting yourself comfortable within the space. If you even want to start practicing writing from a journalistic perspective, start thinking about, more than anything, this is an exercise I got, again, my on-campus class to do last week. I've only got 2 students, so it's, super small and intimate. I want you guys to think about quotes. You guys have been taught over the last 2 to 3 years that paraphrasing is the be-all and end-all. For Journ, that is not the case. Direct quotes are the be-all and end-all. I want to hear the voice of the doctors, the scientists, the psychologists, the entrepreneurs, and all that. I don't want your voice to be paraphrasing everything. I need emotion. I need description. I need color and detail. I want to feel something when I read your pieces this semester, whether that be happiness, anger, frustration, whatever it is. I want to feel it with your writing. And I don't want to feel it through you being biased and through hearing your voice. I want to hear it through the voice of the rape survivor and the person who has, brought themselves up from poverty to success. I want to hear their voice. That I cannot stress, guys, is so important at this level, is that it isn't your voice that I'm hearing. It's the voice of those that are involved within whatever your topic is. So whether you're getting direct quotes from other articles or getting it from interviews you conduct yourself, so when we talk about color, it means bringing in your 5 senses into your written pieces. So bring in what you would see. Some of it you are going to have to make up a little bit of it. But when it comes to direct quotes and actual facts, obviously you can't make any of that up. But you can talk about the pain in someone's face. You can talk about, stepping into the arena and the smell of sweat hanging in the air. I want those kinds of description pieces. If you aren't certain that that's something you can do or something that you are comfortable with, I want you to go look up New Journalism, the gravedigger theory, and gonzo journalism. Okay, these are some old, oh, gravedigger, not grave differ, gravedigger. These are all some really old school ways of journalistic writing, which a lot of people aren't very familiar with, but they are actually the styles of journalism that are all about depth and description. If anyone knows Hunter S. Thompson, okay, Johnny Depp was in one of his movies, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He is the father of gonzo journalism, where that goes a little bit over the top because there's a lot of like very hard hitting swearing and like overboard detail and all that. But I want you to go and read these styles of writing, or go and look up these styles of writing for inspiration into finding the different angle, finding a new way of covering the story, trying to find a way in which you can just bring a story to life, because it's all about description and detail and fly on the wall journalism. So you are there as if you are there for weeks, sitting, watching, observing, and going, hey, you know, this is the kind of detail that would bring a story to life. So like I say, the smells, the sights, what you hear, all those kinds of things need to be incorporated to really bring your stories to life. Does that make sense, guys? Of what I'm expecting from you this semester. Once you've gone and looked up those types of journalism, you will see exactly what I'm meaning. I'm just going to go and copy and paste that into our WhatsApp group just as backup. There we go. Just so that you've got them written down there as well. Direct quotes from interviews with ourselves. Would that mean we need to record our interviews? Yes. So what's going to be happening is, for your interviews, you actually have to load the transcripts of those onto your website. You also are going to be having to film your video, film your interviews, because you're going to be using those for one of your stories. You're going to be using them for your multimedia. They've got to actually be incorporated into it. So that's what that journalism in your hands is all about. I'm going to be teaching you how to take photos like a photojournalist. So talking about rule of thirds, f-stops, apertures, all that, because most phones nowadays have all that. And that's my passion, because my background is photojournalism. And I'm going to speak to you guys about videoing, how to keep stability with your camera, how to edit the video footage, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be teaching you guys this semester. So everything is going to be documented, and you're going to get marks for it, which is always a win when you're getting marks for the works, the work that you have to do anyway, which normally you don't get marks for the background stuff. So that is, sorry if you hear meeping in the background, it's my duck talking to me. I'm irritating her. She's sitting on eggs in my spare room, and I'm irritating her because the light's still on. All right, so you're going to learn a lot of new skills this semester, guys, and there's going to be times where I'm going to put my camera on and show you guys, you know, certain things with the phone. I will share screens with YouTube videos. We'll do all that this semester. So it is going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a lot of work, but you are going to have something to show for it at the end of it, not just an academic essay. All right. Any other questions before we end off? Because I think I've bombarded you with enough information for one night. Anything at all. So that's what I'm saying. Stefan, don't look at it as a bulk. If you've read one of the readings and you feel you've got a good understanding of what it means to write a particular beat or something, then you can stop there until I've gone through stuff with you and you go, okay, now let me go and read the next one. We're going to break it down. I'm going to be there with you every step of the way as always. But it's not about learning in this instant. It's about taking the theory and applying it. That application is what's going to get you the marks at the end of the day, because your whole POE is application. There's no theory to it at all. It is all about taking the theory and putting it into a real world application. So that's why I say it's not about understanding every little nuance of every single beat and every single specialist beat and all that, because if you do that, you're not going to have time to study your other modules. Yes, you will have to know your stuff first. Yes. But like I say, if you get to the grips of it after one or two of the readings, you stop, and then once we chat, you can go, right, I need to read up more on this, or okay, cool, I do feel good about this. Media says, one will be ever learn how to do media analysis or reports. Yes, Erin, you do the media analysis and that in Media 2. Not through the reports so much, but the analysis stuff you do, yeah, in media studies next semester. Yeah, Taryn, the interviews are throw everybody, but I promise it's going to be worthwhile, because it gives you that personal aspect to the story in something, unless I applied anyway. Oh, that's good, Karen. I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun this semester, as long as we work together, and I'll set you little tasks along the way as little practice things, so that when it comes time to your final work, you're not going, this is the first time I'm doing it, and you freak out. Okay, I'll set you little tasks and little exercises and that, and then you can WhatsApp them to me, and I can go, yes, that's what I'm looking for. Fix this, think about this with your composition, all that kind of thing. All right. So we're in this together. We've got this. Yeah, Media 2, JRN 2, Media 2, they're different. They're not quite like the other modules. They're a lot of fun. So yeah, that's it for tonight then, guys. Thank you for coming on and chatting. But I'm sure I'll chat to you guys later in the week. Well, I mean, it's Thursday, but I'm sure I'll chat to you tomorrow or over the weekend. Yeah, I love to hear that, Erin. So hopefully we'll carry on with the JRN and media this semester, then I can get your favorites for all 5 that I teach you for. All right, guys. Have a great evening, and I'll chat to you all soon. Night, guys.